What's up, y'all? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's up, Mills? Not in service. What's good? Welcome. The only Coop. What's happening, Coop? Where you at, Ty? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where's you at? Where you go? What up, son?
What's good?
Shit, what you up to?
Just chilling right now. I'm just at the house
Mhm.
about to make something to eat.
Okay.
Go.
What's up with them boys?
Um, they good. I just got off the phone with Aiden. He chilling.
Yeah.
He
He,
chilling. He see how much.
he doing school. Play clock.
He do.
Yeah.
He
You
do
doing
good.
good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's up, Ed?
They learning math. They learning math, so he everything is counting. And now he got his phone. I mean, not his phone. He got a tablet, so he texting me, and that's his big thing is texting me right now.
Have Have you seen some of those videos about kids uh, with kids who have their phone, their tablets taken away from them for whatever reason? Like, just time them out. Like, okay, like you spent a couple hours on your tablet. You know what I mean? Like, it's time to back up. Off the tablet. You know what I mean? And the kids freak the fuck out, get like a drug addict and shit.
Yeah, I think that's just what I mean. That's not. I don't want to say that's common, but I think that would be more common in single parent households where people just sit their kid in front of tablets and stuff. With Aiden, he liked his tablet, but he also liked to go outside and run and play. Like,
As he should.
so taking his tablet away, if I take his tablet and he got to read a book or he got to go outside, it's just like okay. Of course, he's frustrated because it's like, dang, I was watching that or whatever, but no temper tantrum.
Right. The thing about that is though, even if you're watching something, and I mean, I would imagine that at the point at which you're able to operate a device, you're picked up on the fact that anything you're watching, unlike when I was a kid, anything you're watching, you can watch it any time. When I was a
Yeah,
kid, if you missed it, you missed it, and you might not ever see it again. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Which was, the source of much anxiety as a kid. Mr. Chase Bank, what's happening? Mr. Chase Bank, oh word? What's up? What's up with that Chase card? I need that Chase card, man. I need that one that got that $25,000 limit on it. You know what I mean? I need that one. That one right there. Help a brother out. Hook a brother up. Crawford 83. So, I was thinking about earlier, I was having a conversation with my wife, right? And I was making a salad and she was making some food to eat. And she asked me to cut up some of the tomatoes for her. So, okay, I got the knife. I'm cutting up like avocado, whatever, whatever. So I go to clean the knife off to, you know, get to cut the tomatoes. And I didn't notice that she had moved the tomato. You know how she is. Like she she's a doer. She gonna do it. And so what up, Trey? So um when you got me, Chase, Mr. Chase Bank said you got me. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Um, so now I'm at the sink washing off the knife. I got the knife in one hand, I got the sponge in the other. She turns around and says, "Let me get that," and she's pointing at my hands. So I'm like, "Get what? Like, what are you referring to?" She's like, let me get that. And I'm like, that what? I got two things in my hand. I got a sponge in my hand and I got a knife in my hand. Now I'm cleaning the knife so I can cut the tomatoes that you asked me to cut. So I'm not sure what it is that you're asking for right now. And she goes, she grabs a knife. And I'm like it was the look on her face, the look of impatience on her face, because I couldn't essentially read her mind and determine what it is that she was referring to. And I was like, I mean, obviously she's known me all my life. Like she known me since I was 8 years old. I was like, you know, that way that you just looked at me, that energy you just gave, I used to knock the shit out of niggas for that, right?
Boy, women be tripping out their damn mind.
You,
You be having to like look at
you
them.
know that. You remember that, don't you? I mean, not that I would even think about, hitting anybody for such a thing, let alone the love of my existence. You dig? Barring you guys. But it's just that it's like, yo, it's like, yo, like, when did the world get the message that I was somebody to fucking play with? When was it when I started to be able to articulate myself in an
Oh
intelligible
yeah,
manner? Did that give people the impression that I won't hurt you? I will
yeah,
hurt you, motherfucker.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
What
I will
young
hurt
nigga
you.
said to the old nigga, he's like, bro, I get it, you an OG, but you ain't killed nobody in 30 years. That shit
Well,
old,
what?
nigga. I'm like, bro, like
Well,
that's not
and,
how killing. That's not how none of that shit work. Like,
yeah,
if
uh,
it's in you,
and,
it's in you. It's there.
yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like the nature of a thing is the nature of a thing. You know what I mean? Water will always be wet, no matter how long it's been since you touched it. A rock will always be a fucking rock, no matter how long it's been since you've been hit with one. So, the nature of a thing is the nature of a thing. It doesn't change by virtue of its view or its sound or anything. You dig? Like that's that's the kind of premise or idea of thinking, if you want to call it thinking, because thinking is like a deliberate fucking process, and most people don't fucking think. But and your grandma used to tell me that all the time when I was a kid, when I was busting everybody's fucking ass for remotely like every slight, because I thought, oh, you think I'm a joke, or you think I'm somebody to play with, or you think I don't mean what the fuck I said. And she's like, yo, you gotta like chill. You beating up every fucking body because you think they are you. You think they're operating from what you're operating from, but you operate from what you operate from because I trained you to. They don't come from that.
Yeah.
They're not thinking like you're thinking. So they're not as conscious or deliberate about what they're doing as you are. And you can't hold them to that fucking standard. You can't hold them that standard. You gonna fuck around and end up with a situation, you know what I mean? Because you think that you're dealing with people who can be held accountable. Most people cannot be held accountable, you know? Um, and the real reason that I brought up the incident with my wife and I was to really it came around to how we communicate. Like as you already know this, but like I don't argue and I don't get into arguments with anybody at all. I'm a communicator, an effective communicator. I can make a determination about whether this is going to be a situation that we can um, come to some sort of amicable outcome on a verbal level or not in an instant. And at the point at which I decide, oh, we're not going to be able to verbally resolve this, I go into action. That's why I've always come out on top. I don't need to build up. I read and I go, oh, you're not listening. You're not listening. So it's no point in me continuing to talk to you. And as I evolved, as I grew, as I matured, as I acquired more understanding, that just pervaded throughout all my relationships and all my interactions. You know, um, so I don't argue, and my wife and I, we do not argue like ever. And just like with my previous relationship, never. I haven't argued with a woman since your brother's mom. No, since Tiffany. And that was before that was before I became monogamous. After I became monogamous, there was no arguing. Like we can communicate, we have these conversations. I hate that fucking fake word conversate. It's not a real word, y'all. It's not a real word. Conversate is not an actual fucking word, okay? But we know what we're saying, right? But um, what I greatly appreciated was the fact that my wife is mature enough, intelligent enough, informed enough, and educated enough that she can hear me say, I knock a motherfucker's teeth out their mouth, quite literally. I'm not one, as you know, for hyperbole or creative, expression. Like when I say knock a motherfucker's teeth out, I mean remove his teeth from their gums, literally. That's what I mean. I'm not a rapper, right?
Or a dentist.
So, to be able to be with a woman whom you can express yourself as yourself, and to have that woman receive you as you, not internalize anything, and be able to express and respond in an equally mature and responsible and respectful manner. You know what I mean? Like, and just hear what you have to say, no matter how you say it, but just hear what you have to say and listen to the fucking words and take the words for what they mean and what they intend. Man, listen, bro. I am one of the most fortunate men walking this fucking planet, bro.
You are. Because most girls
Seriously.
are hear what you say. Well, they didn't even hear what you said. What you said made, like how you was talking, how you was moving, it made them feel bad. So now they just want to attack you and they offended and they're just going to attack everything you saying because you made them feel bad. It don't matter if you're right because how you made them feel supersedes everything. So, it being a logical situation don't mean shit. It's just like, nigga, I feel bad. You here, fuck what you saying. The sky ain't blue, nigga.
I couldn't. Let me tell you something, bro. Like, my wife and I, we've said this many times over the years. It's like, if I wasn't with you, I'd be by myself because I'm not inclined. I'm too long in the tooth, meaning there's the expression long in the tooth, meaning I'm too experienced. I've been around too long. I'm too old to be tolerant of shit I know I've moved far beyond. I am not a dysfunctional person. I do not do dysfunctional. I don't do, the codependence. I don't do passive aggression. I'm an overtly aggressive person. There's nothing passive about my aggression. I'm overtly aggressive. So when I'm being aggressive, I am being aggressive. You dig? So um, I couldn't be with someone who is not as self-assured, who is not driven to continually grow and improve and stand on what they stand on and be standing on something that's about something for real, for real. I see too much in society, and a lot of it I pick up through, because as you know, I barely leave home. For the fuck what? Everything I want, I have. Everything I want is right fucking here. There's really nothing I need to leave here for, So I don't really interact with people very much at all, except via this fucking device, right? And so um, I look at the world through this device in many ways, whether it's movies or talk shows or podcasts or documentaries, whatever medium by which I get access to human behavior, right? And I see things, and I'm like, first of all, I would never be involved with anybody who is young enough to be a child of mine. That would never happen.
I was going to ask you what you think about all of that shit because I
I would
mean,
never do that.
just being around the industry, we've seen stuff. Like I remember the first time. You remember when we was in Philly and we went to the concert and R. Kelly was there with Missy.
Yep.
And they was both rolling on ecstasy and they was all
Yep.
hugged up in the corner and shit.
Yep.
That shit was weird. That
Weird.
Shit was
Weird,
super weird. And
weird
then
as a
how
motherfucker.
all the stuff that he had going on. Remember, he had like blue code. So when he walking through the hallways on some weird shit, everybody got to turn around and face the wall. R. Kelly used to do weird shit the whole time. So like when everything popped off, I was like, this nigga been a weirdo. Like anybody that's
Been
ever
a
been around
weirdo.
was like, yo, this nigga's crazy. This nigga, he
He
like
been a
he got
weirdo.
some shit going on because you be around and it be weird shit that's happening and you like, so I gotta turn this nigga don't want nobody looking at him. What kind of
Yo,
weirdo?
that was so crazy. That was so crazy. Like, what, motherfucker?
Weirdo. And then
Bruh.
him and Missy was the weirdest of couples of hanging out, cuddled up together. I was
And
like,
yeah, and it was the E. It was the E. Because a lot of people don't realize um Missy was the one who really bust the E out in our, in the hip hop community. Like she was the one that was making the songs about E and talking about E and like spreading the idea of ecstasy. She was the one. Missy was the one with that. You know what I mean? And Missy could smoke the shit. Like she smoked some shit. Like, me and Missy smoked some shit. But man, when it comes to the motherfucking them E's, that she was Queen E. She was Queen fucking E, man. No bullshit. And that shit make them act strange as fuck.
niggas get
But
friendly as
yes,
fuck.
I remember that. I remember that. That was that's crazy that I had you around that shit at that age, bro. But I mean, you were with me, so but G
Yeah,
Monelli.
that was one of your
Wow.
main. So stay close to me and all this stuff. I want to make sure I can see you where you at, where you going.
Bro.
Ain't nobody gonna play with my booty hole.
Yeah,
I ain't,
yeah.
nobody
That
offer me. I'm 15. I know if I like to get pissed on. I know if I want somebody to touch my booty hole. I know all that shit. Like you not going to make me play with dicks and fuck a bunch of people, and then 20 years later I'm like, I didn't want to do that. Nah, nigga, you want to do some of that shit she wanted to do. Like you can't convince me. Fuck that.
I
Hell
didn't want to do it. You lying, motherfucker. Are you lying? Doc Holiday was good. What up, Cheese? She said, no way. Cheeky Blaze, well, Cheeky 12 Blaze 1 said, that's wild. It was wild. Like see, that's why, you know, could I have gotten real into that industry? Of course. I was in every fucking office. I hanging with every fucking body, Leor, every fucking body, you name them. You know what I mean? But I come from a different thing, a different place, a different time. I was raised by what you call Jim Crow niggas. Jim Crow niggas are those black men and women who grew up during that era when white people didn't pretend that they weren't racist dogs. You understand me? They made their sentiments very well known. So they had no fantasies or misunderstandings about where they stood in whitey world. And they didn't allow me that. When I was a kid, if I was smiling, they might turn around and look at me and be like, fuck is you smiling? I'm like, well, I'm a little kid, so, you know, why not? And their attitude was basically, if you're smiling, you obviously don't know where you are. You obviously don't know what's going on around you. Smiling all big and cheesy like that, like you don't know what the fuck is going on. Well, let me tell you what's going on, little nigga. And that's the reality I grew up in, right? So when I got into, the industry, that it was a whole other fucking world. I mean, shit, even just getting into the normal world, just getting out the street and being around normal people, that was a whole other world to me. Whole other world. I had no concept really of what the regular world was like, what regular people like. I had no concept. I really didn't know how normal people operated. My mind was that they followed all the rules. That's what I viewed the square world like, yo, y'all, they follow all the rules. They do what they're told. That's what my perception was, to the point where when I stopped hustling, I was like, I'm glad I ain't gotta worry about knocking a nigga head off, knocking motherfuckers out no more, punch nobody in the face. I really was that naive. Like, like people outside the street are just a better grade of fucking people. No. At least people in the street, one, what they want. They either want drugs or they want money, right? And they understood that, like you keep your word or you lose your head, right? In the mainstream world, especially in the industry, there was nothing like that. There were no guardrails. There were no parameters. The worst thing they were worried about is you get motherfucker gonna talk bad about you or maybe sue you. Ooh, gonna get sued. It wasn't a matter of you may die today. All things may end for you today. That was the reality I grew up with. At home, fuck outside. At home, you may die today. Fuck around. You may die today. Because ain't nobody around here tolerating nothing from nobody, including you. You know what I mean? Little nigga. Like, that's what my reality was. So when I got into the industry and I started really seeing how people were, I was like, yo, this ain't for me. I'm going to hurt somebody here. So I stayed very much in, but out,
Yo, Joe Buttons was talking about the industry talk, right? Like, yo, what's up, nigga? Yo, I see you doing your thing. Yo, we got to do something, hit my number tomorrow. We're going to lock in. We're going to get this shit done. Yo, I'm going to do the cover. I'm going to do like 30 ads for the whole year. You know I fuck you, that nigga, you the fucking OG, nigga. I already know. Yo, I'm fucking with you. Hit me tomorrow. And he say, that's the basic. We bullshit. That's just industry talk.
Yo, Jeff Dixon. Shout out to my brother Jeff Dixon. By far, the realest, most authentic, most genuine, most true motherfucker in all of the music industry. And I'm not saying he's the only one. I'm saying he is the one. Everyone else is varying degrees of that. I mean, everyone else to whom anything like that, like, character, integrity, anyone that those words can be attached to, they would be to a lesser degree than Jeff Dixon. Jeff Dixon means what he said and said what he mean. Jeff Dixon is the one that helped me to understand industry speak. Because prior to Jeff Dixon, and I've shared this before, prior to Jeff Dixon, I was threatening everybody. Like the record label that Wu-Tang used to be with, I ran up in their office.
Loud.
Def Jam, Loud. I ran up in all of them on some like, yo, where's my check? You said net 30. That means 30 days after I run your ad in my magazine. That means my magazine with your ad came out 30 days ago. So where's my check? You niggas got supposedly, tens of millions of dollars. You owe me $2,500. I've been waiting 30 fucking days. I'm a small businessman. Where the fuck is my money? Who you think you playing with? Because my mindset is squares follow all the rules. Squares do what they're told. They do everything like they're supposed to. So they're thinking I'm the street nigga and I don't know no better, so they can try something with me. I'm not understanding that, as Jeff explained, when they say yes, they really mean no. When they say no, they're hating. If they say maybe, that is also no. But a no means that not only will they do it, but they're hating. Like
they probably plotting against you, probably
right,
trying to figure out how they can do it without.
Right. Without being held accountable. You know what I mean? Because accountability, that industry, it attracts suckers. It's a sucker fucking magnet. Don't get it fucked up, y'all. I'm telling you. It's a sucker fucking magnet. It is a very difficult thing to be a solid person in that industry. Very difficult. because don't nobody mean nothing they saying. Just like you were just saying, Joe Budden was saying. Don't nobody mean nothing they saying. And they all know that. When they're all jerking each other off in some conversation or in some actuality, you know, they know what it is. They know what the fuck it is. And anytime you try to impose upon them an accountability, they start targeting you to be undermined. This is what I was trying to tell Jimmy when he was pressing and pushing and yoking these niggas up. I was like, yo, bro, they're going to blackball your ass, man. They're gonna blackball you, bro. You know, like you cannot force accountability on people who don't have the character to be accountable. You know what I mean? That's like, you know, trying to make the nature of water not wet. You know what I mean? Like it is what the fuck it is. You know, you have to be able to work with what they are without losing yourself to it. You know, and I think I did a pretty good job at that. I did a pretty good job at that because I've maintained my relationships with these people. You know what I mean? But that's because they respect the fact that I did not compromise my integrity. They have the majority of those people in that music industry, even the ones that like to project themselves like, you know, they are, you know, some street oriented person, you know, as opposed to some motherfucker who was just in the street at some point tossing around a couple of cracks or some shit like that, which is 99.999% of them. Um, um, they've never really been in the presence of an actual, true and through, hardcore street nigga, for real, for real. Never, never. They've encountered some in passing, some of them, but they weren't even qualified to be able to make a real determination about that. It's what they thought. A lot of them thought they junkie uncles was real street niggas. And he was just a motherfucker trying to support a habit. And he happened to maybe have a sense of pride about himself. So he maintained a certain degree of, you know, respectability in terms of his attire, you know. So if you're an 11-year-old kid who come from a relatively square home, even if it's poor, even if it's in the hood, and you got an uncle who is able to, you know, alternate his sneakers 3 or 4 times a motherfucking week, in your mind, from your perspective, he's a representation of this idea that you're picking up from your popular music culture. And because you want to think of yourself in a really, you know, favorable way, you convince yourself that you're someone that knows someone like that, like what's being projected in the imagery of the music that you love so much. It's really you pumping your own shit up. So you making this motherfucker somebody he ain't, so that you can feel like you got a connection or some type of, you know, proximity to somebody that is of some worth or value in that space, in that street space. But those are the same motherfuckers that once they got their hands on $2 and their little rap thing and all of that, then they realize, oh, my uncle was a fucking bum. He was a bum ass, drug head motherfucker, whatever. But they still leverage it. You hear in their lyrics talk about, and Uncle Bo, you was the shit, and blah, this, that, and the other, trying to, again, leverage the proximity to the idea of this street person who was a luminary of some sort or whatever. Get the fuck out of here. Like, the industry is full of shit. Just in case y'all don't know. I see a lot of shit on the internet, again, because this is my engagement with you motherfuckers. I don't want you in my home. I don't even want you in my fucking neighborhood.
I was watching
But I see you.
that nigga Jada was on it. He was doing an interview, and in the interview he had his dad with him.
Shout out to
and
Kiss.
Kiss, his pops sells coffee. He been selling coffee for over 30 something years. So
wow.
basically was like, Jada comes from a 2-parent home. I always had a job. I've always had some money. We lived a pretty middle class life, but we just lived in black neighborhoods. So he wasn't a street kid. He just was a kid that lived in proximity to street things that was going on. And it's like, hearing his dad talk and knowing what I know about the group, I was like, oh, so
Styles was the nigga that was outside doing all the shit. And he gave the group, he validated the group and everything else that they was doing, because
That's
everybody
a
else
fact.
was coming from a good home and had a good structure. And then, it's just funny to see the background of some of these things that you don't know to now. Like, people didn't know Method Man was married, and they're like, nigga, you been married for all this time and nobody knew you had a wife. It's like, why does it matter I have a wife? Like, but it don't, but it do matters in the sense that they won't buy a nigga music if he married and he talking about how I love my wife and I protect my family, I provide, and I'm like, you can't blow up off of that. You can blow up off of all the other shit. Him making a song with Mary J. Blige and everybody going, yo, they together, yo, that's his woman, yo, they should be together, yo, they look good together. Like, that was just like the thing. Every time an artist made a song with a female, it's like, oh, they must be fucking. Yo, he hitting that, yo. He
It's
hitting it.
juvenile. Shit is juvenile. The genre itself, I mean, when it was created, it was created by juveniles for juveniles, you know? And even though it is now 50 years old plus, it's still something that is targeting a juvenilistic mindset. You know what I mean? That's why, 40-something-year-old rappers got to keep rapping about their Versace and their Gucci and their Louis and the Maybach. And that's why they keep talking about that. Because if they don't, then the children who for whom this music is for won't it won't resonate with them.
I think
It won't resonate with them, bro.
it's so crazy in the sense that it's like, okay, the biggest album last year was Killer Mike, and he ain't saying none of that shit like
Yep.
that on his album.
That,
But the
that,
younger people would like, man, I don't know this nigga. Who the fuck is Killer Mike? Man, like, they was so frustrated and upset about a nigga that wasn't on the, like, a nigga that don't make drill music is actually winning something, because to them that's the world. But they only know it from the small space in which they've experienced it, and they haven't experienced it. It's just what they're being pushed towards through social media and different media platforms, and it's just the culture of hip hop.
yeah, it's again, going back to the relationship thing. Um, the way that the music, the culture that is reflective of the music, right? The way that it's impacting mindset and development within our community in particular, but like pretty much everywhere, in every community, which is why a lot of other communities don't want our artists becoming prominent with their offspring. We listen to like you listen to Chinese artists rapping in Chinese, and you get the interpretation of what they're saying. They're not saying destructive things about themselves or about their community or just in general. They're not aggrandizing destructive or negative imagery. Um, no other culture does that except ours. No other culture does that. So they're taking everything, all the energy and so forth from uh our culture, and they're taking all of the elements that make it pop and make it popular, and then they're incorporating it into their own mindsets and basically using it as power to infuse their youth, because they've already seen what happens when you do the opposite. We're the example of that,
Yeah.
right? And one of the main ways in which our way of doing it has, from what I can see, impacted us is in the relationships between males and females. It's virtually destroyed any degree of trust or trustability between males and females. At the rate that it's going now, if it continues on this trajectory, um, there will be there will be no melanated family structures at all by the time this supposed point where non-melanated people will be the minority, right? So 2045, there will be white people will be the smallest group, but because of the focuses of their overarching culture, um, they will still own the majority of the land, own the majority of the business, own it. So they'll be a controlling minority. Oh yeah, it'll be great. It'll be so much more of us than them. They'll still be in fucking control because our culture is destructive and counterproductive to growth, development, cohesiveness, togetherness, family, trust, like all the things that would make us in any way significant in this world, regardless to what the ratio is. You know what I mean? Whether we're the majority or fucking not. Like we'll be the majority of the broken and broke and lost and you and fucked up. You know what I mean? So like, so what? You know, like it's not promising, man. And it makes those of us who have the wherewithal to what's up, Fashion _18 DG99 Elohim. It makes the majority of us or the minority of us within the melanated community that have the wherewithal, to see these things. It makes us withdraw. It makes us makes us like want to live like this, like I might have, I got one black person, that lives in my area, one other black person, you know, because a lot of us ain't got our shit together. And, so they're not achieving at the necessary level to be able to establish this type of circumstance, um, and when you go into the areas where we are, populated, like when I go up top, I be like, man, the only reason I can tolerate being up here is knowing that I can leave. That's it. Serious. Knowing I can leave. That's it. And knowing that when I leave, there won't be none of this. And it's not about, I don't want to be around black people. I don't want to be around niggas. I don't. I do not. I spent 30 years in the shit. You know what I mean? Like dealing with that mentality. And yeah, man, I'm cool on that. I'm cool on that. And there's a lot of us that are like that. Every progressive melanated man I know, and female, but I interact, with more the guys who are elevating and stuff like that. And they're all like niggas is full of shit, bro. Niggas don't follow through. Niggas don't come through. Niggas don't step up. Niggas don't handle their business. Niggas take. And the moment you know how you know when a nigga's doing good, you don't hear nothing from him. He don't check in. He don't holler. He don't see, what's happening with you. Is it something that I couldn't contribute to your situation? You've poured into me so much. None of that. Those of us who are progressive, we're over it, bro. We're over it. We on them niggas too, bro. Them niggas, man. Like I have blocked in the last 3 weeks. I've deleted and blocked about 20 um about 20 contacts. So I don't ever want to see you or speak to you ever again. And I don't know. I might have known you. I might have known you for 20 years. I might know you for 30 years, whatever it's like. But all you've ever been was an anchor. You've never been a sail. And I'm done with it, bro. I'm done with it. I'm done with it.
I seen the homie this weekend. He was here, Bama. I seen he pulled up. He was out here.
Word.
He don't know what, like, he don't, in his defense, that nigga don't have a bank account. He got, all that stuff is in his mama name, because when he
Oh,
did
I
have a bank
know.
account,
Oh, I know.
so
I know
he was
that.
like, he was like, yo, what's up? Because, like, bro, he know I love him. He know I'll do it. I just
Right,
didn't
right.
know.
That's why we got when we got on the phone. When we got on the phone, you know, I was like, cause his text response, you can't take a tone away from text.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I said, yo, who the fuck you talking to, nigga? Who the fuck do you think you talking to? Like, you can't stand a fade or nothing, my nigga. The fuck? He was like, bro, what? You know what I mean? I was like, bro,
Yo,
like, the fuck you, nigga? And you got a bill, boy. You got a bill too, nigga. Ain't a couple of racks, nigga. You did? And I've been super tolerant. Like, it's just, like I said, bro, I'm pushing 60 years old, bro.
yeah.
You dig? I don't have, if I ever had, and as I've gotten older, I've definitely realized no one has time to waste, bro. Because no one knows how much time they have. So no one has time to waste. No one has time to wait for a motherfucker to figure it out. Especially when after a little while, you can pretty much know who has any intention of figuring anything the fuck out. A lot of people don't want to be burdened with the responsibility of figuring anything out, bro. They don't want to figure shit out. You figure it out. Tell me. And then I'll opt to whether or not I will adapt or assimilate what it is you're telling me. I might decide I just want to keep wallowing in shit. And many will, because it's easier than to stand up and walk straight. You know what I mean? Because it can be a lonely walk, you know? But I mean, born alone, die alone, you know what I mean? Especially if you're responsible for the development of other people, like you a parent. How you a parent and you ain't about shit?
Oh, man,
Okay,
that's
you gonna blow your life, but what about your kids?
that don't matter. They gonna dress fresh. They gonna have Balenciagas, Jordans. They gonna have all the nicest shit. They just gonna be pieces of shit people and dumb motherfuckers. Like they gonna be what you see out here. These niggas that's fresh but can't read out loud. A nigga got a Richard Millie, but he can't tell a clock that's not digital and shit. Nigga don't know what that bitch is. Stop thinking these niggas is boy, you know these niggas dumb. Stop acting like that. Stop acting now. You know these niggas are dumb. Nigga,
But
I bet you if I walked around with an analog clock and say, what time is it? Niggas wouldn't be able to know the time. Like
that's
people would be
terrible, bro.
surprised.
Knowledge Speak said, did we do it to ourselves or do we blame the white man? And at the white man put us on a trajectory.
I
At
say
some point, we recognized we were on this trajectory, right? At the point at which you recognize, the responsibility becomes your own. I could have kept on selling drugs. I was really fucking good at it. Really good at it.
you live good.
But I knew that I was contributing to the undermining of my community. I wasn't in neighborhoods like this doing what I was doing. I was in neighborhoods like where I come from doing what I was doing. I began to understand that I was being leveraged and being used, and that every moment I spent contributing to that, I was wasting my true infinite potential. When I decided I was going to do something different, the whole world or structure around me turned on me because I was no longer willing to be whom I had been up until that point.
I mean, that's true.
The whole world turned on me. The whole fucking world turned on me. There was no encouragement. It
I
was,
know.
what's wrong with you? You're reading too many books. You bugging the fuck out. Oh, you done lost it. Yeah, look at you now, motherfuckers. Look at you now. And look at me. You know? That's why I'm the last laugher, because I got the last laugh. But motherfuckers I knew something was wrong. When I told motherfuckers, yo, I'm done. I don't want to fuck around no more. I'm tired. I'm finished, whatever. And they were acting like something was wrong with me. I was like, wait a minute. You don't think that I'm doing the right fucking thing by saying, yo, I'm going to remove myself to the degree that I can from the detriment that comes along with this lifestyle? I'm going to lessen the likelihood of losing my mind, losing my freedom, losing my life. Like, you're looking at me like, yo, what's wrong with you? I'm like, yo, you don't understand that that's a good fucking thing? Holy shit, who the fuck have I been around? Holy fucking shit, this is crazy. And I really was like that. I was like, yo, that's not what you should be saying. You should be saying, yo, I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm proud of you, whatever. You motherfuckers is like, yo, you bugging out.
I remember, and they slowly dropped off. Even they waited. Even some of them stood around while you did Don Devo a bunch of years, and they was like, "This nigga really not coming back.
You really not coming
He
back.
really not coming back." Like I
And
watched
then
niggas that
and
were
then abandoned me.
yeah,
Three,
I
four
watched
years
niggas that been there
in,
for
and then
years,
said,
and they
man, you
just
really ain't fucking, you really doing this shit. I'm out of here. Like,
that
oh,
shit was crazy.
word. Wow. But this is, you know, that, so we are to blame. We're the blame at this point. You like,
Rest in peace, JB.
word up. Rest in peace, JP. So what's the solution? Knowledge speaks it. What's the solution? Based upon my own experience, knowledge. Knowledge. People they want to try and make new decisions with the same old information, which for most people is virtually no information at all. A person gets up and says consciously, I'm changing my mind. I'm not gonna drink anymore. I'm not gonna smoke anymore. Um, I'm not gonna run the streets anymore. Okay. Everything that you have been thinking up until the point that you decided that you weren't going to do what you've been doing has been based around what you've been doing. So if you're now going to do differently, you have to now be working with different information, feeding different things in your mind. Otherwise, you can only get out of your mind and whatever's in it what you've been getting out of it. That's obvious. So motherfuckers just want to magically become another person. You didn't magically become the person you are now. That took time. That took time for you to come to being who and how you are now. And it's going to take time for you to change that. But you're going to have to be more deliberate about it. Because a lot of y'all are who y'all are just by happenstance. You're born under certain circumstances, in certain homes, under certain situations, around certain neighborhoods, and you get certain influences, and you're responding to that, and you're becoming whoever you're becoming as a result of that. That's it. There was nothing conscious or deliberate about it at all. You tried to find yourself within that and create a sense of identity within that, but it was never any of your choice. Now, at the point that you decide you want to do something different, you're going to have to be deliberate in your choice making. You're going to have to start. I read, bro, I read every day, 12 hours a damn day. Now, you got to understand, my circumstances were different. My circumstances were that I was a nigga who had been in the street for a long time. Now I'm not in the street. I got time. I don't have to go to work. I got time. So I'm in the gym 3, 4, 5 hours a day. Then I'm sitting at home, in front of my computer and just, reading and writing, and because I can do this for as long as I can do it. I mean, sooner or later I got to do something, but for that time I was able to do that. Now you have to adapt to whatever your circumstances are. At the point at which you decide you're going to do something different, it's time for you to start learning some different shit. You need to pick up a book, watch some seminars. This is what I do with my Mindfuck Academy. Because I've done this degree of the work, I know, because I've come from the depth of what I was into, I know. So I just share what I know. Most people were not as ensconced in that lifestyle as I was. If I could pull up out of it, the average nigga was 3 feet deep at best in the game. I was 100 fucking feet deep in the game because I was born into it. And I put emphasis on that often because a lot of y'all have no wherewithal. You have no point of reference. So you don't understand that it is not all the same degree. There's levels to that shit. So just because you got your hands on a couple of grams and you was flipping an ounce or 2 ounces, and most of y'all was just selling fucking weed. You know, some of y'all might have got your hands on a few grams of some girl or whatever. 99.99% of y'all never sold no heroin in your life. That's a fact. You understand me? So a lot of y'all, man, y'all have no fucking idea, you know, how challenging it is to pull yourself out of the depths of something mentally. You can stop going around the neighborhood. You can stop hanging around with the dudes. But if your mind is the same thing, you're going to attract new neighborhood, new dudes, same shit. You got to change your mind, which means you got to change the things in your mind. And you got to be deliberate about it. Because unlike the way you came to be how you are, with just things happening and you kind of just adapting and rolling with the punches and whatever have you, when you're trying to change and become someone 180 degrees different from where you've been, no, now you have to be deliberate in seeking the things that will contribute to that. That means you have to deliberately say, yeah, I'm not going to the club. I'm not going to that and this and that, whatever. I got to finish this motherfucking book. I got to finish this book. And it's thick as a motherfucker. I got to finish it, though. I got to finish it. That's just one of the books that I'm reading right now. You know what I mean? I stay on this constantly because, as I said, the nature of the thing is the nature of the thing. And I have been the other person a lot longer than I've been this person. And it doesn't happen as often as it used to. But there were times, man, when I would be like going through certain things and I'd be like, man, fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. I'm going to put my black hat on again. Show these motherfuckers the real villain. For real, for real. Because most of y'all ain't never seen the likes of a motherfucker like me. I promise you. This is not ego speaking. This is honesty speaking. You've never seen the likes of me in real life. You haven't. Those who know me, they know. They can tell you. Y'all really, really have no idea the things that y'all are entertaining and fucking with, mostly influenced by that music. The ideas that you can dibble and dabble in something as destructive as the fucking streets. The streets, in for a penny, in for a pound. Do you understand? In for a penny, in for a pound. That means that it doesn't matter that you were the lowest man on the totem pole and that you were only making a couple $100 a day while the boss is making $100,000 a day. When the shit hit the fan, the motherfucker at the bottom and the motherfucker at the top, or vice versa, they all going in the same motherfucking situation. You fucked. A lot of y'all don't know that. A lot of y'all think that it's, you know, it's some kind of even give and take. Well, I never busted the gun. I was just carrying it. Okay. You were facilitating. You were acting in concert. You go with everybody else.
Don't let all y'all niggas be matching. Oh, y'all a gang.
Yeah.
Y'all organized crime.
Exactly. Now you got a RICO. Now you got some shit you never heard of, like Thug and them. They never heard of a RICO until they was in it.
Not a state RICO.
Yeah, they never heard of that. They never heard of that. Most people never heard of a state RICO. They would have if they had paid attention to Don Diva, because I was definitely telling them about it. Telling about RICOs, telling about mandatory minimum sentencing. A lot of motherfuckers said until they read Don Diva, they had never, ever heard of a mandatory minimum sentence. Never heard of it. But we're facing it every single day. Every time they went and got their little 2 ounces of crack. When you left the little spot you was buying your little 2 ounces of crack from, on your way back to your apartment to go cut it up and make up your nickels and your dimes, if you had gotten caught,
at the spot where they live and had their kids and
Yeah,
their family and everything.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There was never a drug in no motherfucking house that y'all were in. Never. Money? Yeah. No drugs. There was never no
There's
drugs.
definitely some money. We definitely
It
found
was
some.
money, no drugs. Fucking drug. You little nosy fuckers. No drugs.
You used to yo, this nigga ain't nobody. Yo, you would like it was. Oh my god, yo, this nigga used to catch us because this nigga used to set traps for us to be caught. Like he would have the drawer closed and then he would put tape on like the side of the bottom of the drawer and see
That's
if the
right.
tape was broke. So he would come back and we'd be sitting there chilling like we's all in this shit. He'd be like, yo, so who went in this drawer? We be like, how he know? How he know that drawer, nigga? Like, god damn, this nigga got cameras. This nigga got cameras. And he did do that sometimes. Sometimes he'll leave and leave the cameras watching us
I'll leave the
just to
camera
see
set up behind the
who do
picture.
who.
I
The
still
nigga was
got
crazy.
those videos.
Nigga.
I still got those videos. And y'all doing shit. Y'all doing shit. Not come back. I come back in the house and I be looking at y'all, they be sitting there at their dining room table. They be like they good little nice little kids. And then I would go and I would look at them, I go, I see peas on the wall.
We definitely
Okay.
throwing food.
Okay.
We was
So I
throwing
go
food. We
and I
was
go get the
cursing. As soon
camera.
as he left, we were like, shit, punk ass
Then I look
nigga,
at the
you's
camera.
a bitch, bro. We was just cursing up. So we was just doing shit.
I say who did that? And of course, they ain't nobody saying nothing. They not if everybody got to get in trouble, everybody get in trouble. But ain't nobody telling nothing.
That's how we
Ain't
roll.
nobody telling nothing. They are not going to tell each other at all, right? And then I go okay, and then I go and I pull the camera out. Once they see me pull that camera out from behind that picture, they go, well, this right here that I did that
That's
right there.
me.
That's what I did. I don't know about nobody,
I
nothing
don't
else.
know, but I don't know what else happened. I know I did that. Things might be me on the floor.
Blind Goose
I take
Mobile.
accountability for my part.
Hey, bro. Hey, hey. Give me a call, Josh. Give me a call. Blind Goose Mobile. Josh, give me a call. I put you on to something. But yeah, man. I'm a logical person, and I follow logic. And logically, the trajectory, that we're on as a group is not promising. There are too many of us who are on the wrong end of mental, financial, emotional wellness. Too much of that wrong end of it it's been incorporated into culture. It's been incorporated into identity, and at the rate that things are going, if something miraculous doesn't fucking happen, um, we're going to be in a worse condition than we were in post enslavement. And motherfuckers can think that's extreme if they want, but they're gonna find out. I don't know who people think is making sure that that doesn't happen, but if you're not one of the ones making sure it doesn't happen, then you can pretty much count on no one else being that. You know, we got 8 seconds left. It doesn't like it's about to count down though, so it'll probably let us go a little further. But yeah, it ain't cutting off. So I guess we've been doing it long enough that we've earned ourselves more than an hour. But an hour is cool though. An hour is cool. So I'll tap back in with you on Thursday on here, son. And as always, man, I love you. I'm proud of you, and keep being the father and the man that, I invested everything in my ability to make sure that you would be when this time came. And I'm proud of you, man. Very much so. Oh, it's about to cut us off. It's giving me a 30-second one.
All right, I'm about to conversate with this bitch downstairs in the car.
Well, just remember, Think critically so you can live wonderfully. Peace. My plug out.
Nigga crazy.
Love you, man.